Hi everybody. So this video, it's just time to give another update on the cabin bike. This is mostly due to Tim, who's encouraged me to post an updated video. Sorry it took me so long to get back. Done many things. So one surprise that I had is this morning there was a puddle of gas on the ground. It turns out it's the fuel tank sender gasket. So I already drained and removed the fuel tank, got a new gasket on order, waiting for it to come in. In just a moment here, I'm going to recap the things I've done since the last video, but let me just give a quick overview. So here now I've got it off the stand and on the ground. So a few things I want to point out for people seeing these videos for the first time. This is a cabin bike. It's registered, licensed, and insured. Right at the moment, I do have a non-operative status filed on it to save money on registration since I'm not driving it. And mechanically and, 90% electronics, it's all done. And it runs and drives. It's real fast. And the landing gear here retracts. The door opens with an air ram, which is fairly new, air ram. It's based on a TL1000R motorcycle. And at the moment I have the tank off because it had a gasket leak this morning. But normally the fuel tank would be right here. And that's a TL1000 completely intact inside there. And then the steering's from the TL1000, the gauges, the headlight. And so recently we went to dual car mirrors, just conventional car mirrors, Kia Rio. And one thing I want to mention, if we look carefully, that wheel's not touching the ground. It's like that on purpose. It's got a little bit of clearance, so we can kind of wobble it back and forth. The trick is in California, we need to have no more than 3 wheels on the ground at one time. It's classified as a motorcycle or a 3-wheeler. If all 4 wheels are on the ground, then it's a motor vehicle, and a lot of different regulations apply. So let me get in this for one of my followers, Tim. So this is specifically things we've updated since the last video. The door was electrical with a cable, and it just wasn't dependable, and it didn't open smoothly. And I did that before I had an air system on board. Well, now the landing gear is air operated. You can see the ram inside the side window there. So now I have an air system on board. So now I added another ram here to operate the door. And it's pretty cool. We're turned on. Let's just unlatch. And button inside here. And oops, sorry, let me just check here to make sure we got pressure. We need 60 for the door. It's got 68. Here we go. So I like the way that operates on the air ram. That was up. Let's go down. Get the right button. And so far, I'm real happy with that. There's the ram. The linkage. Okay, what else? I know. So this is pretty important, and this is really helped us to get to a point where we're on the downhill slope, so to speak, as far as how the body's going to attach, what it's going to look like. Still need to finish designing the front end. Basically, it's a blank slate. That's what I have to work with. The rest, I think I pretty much have it figured out, and I'm happy with it. But this here, I want you to see this. This is just a 1/4 inch aluminum 50-52 rod, common piece of aluminum rod. And what it's done is it's given me a place to connect panels together where I'm going to say it looks natural, looks cool. I could leave it showing or put it in behind the bodywork. I decided to leave it showing. And right now this is all temporary, these little rubber strips here. But eventually what this is going to be like is like this bottom panel here. Now picture, this is all going to be aluminum sheet. These are going to be all little flush head rivets. This will all be gone. And what will be left is basically a body molding on the body line. And what that is that same aluminum rod, but now there's a piece of rubber, this is actually inner tube rubber, stretched all the way down the length of it. Let me see, all the way to here. And eventually we'll get one big long piece of rubber, and it's going to go the whole way there. And then let me show you on the inside. Some spots there's just individual connectors. The lighting's probably not too good, sorry. In some spots there's more complicated bracketry, but they all catch that aluminum rod. And so it's just kind of floating between the two panels, and then there are some key connection points. And I'm really happy with how that's working. I'm going to continue that, and that really kind of helped us figure out how to float this stuff in outer space out here. So I'm really happy with that. And one other thing we did, we relocated the main power cutoff switch on the outside of the vehicle. After much trial and error, this is just where I decided I want it right now. It's convenient while we're building it. We can keep it turned off all day long, and when we're working on something we need electricity, we can turn it on and get power to the dash and gauges. That also turns off, that turns off the ground to everything, including the TL1000. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put it on a rear wheel stand. Okay, and that's just so I can put the landing gear up and the bike won't fall over. But I always say everybody wants to see the landing gear, and so let's turn the power on. And landing gear's here on the handlebars. And right now, landing gear 101 PSI. We can operate it all the way down to 40 PSI if I push the right button. And when it's down, it's pretty stiff. One more time. There's the landing gear. One other thing, I'll get in here and clean all this up. I've been working on this, but these are the two solenoids that function the ram for the door. Basically, one of these solenoids puts air into the ram, and the other one allows the air out. And we only have it hooked up just to one end of the air ram. There it is there. The other end, the other end is just an exhaust port. So we've got a new line also that runs to new regulator. And then this is the pickup for the electric gauge on the dash. And the door is reading 68, the landing gear is reading 78. Those are both within parameters. The compressor's not even on, so that's just whatever air's in the tank. And everything will operate a couple times with the air in the tank. And like I said, we'll get in here and clean all this up and shorten all the wires and make good connections on everything. This is really just in a kind of an experimental stage where we're making sure everything works, and now we're ready to come in here and clean it up a little bit. Okay, and at the risk of running long here, let me just show you what's next. So this is kind of temporary. This is while not kind of, this is temporary. This is while we're experimenting on the door, trying to figure out the geometry for the hinge rod. And there's the rod that goes to the levers I showed earlier. And so now we're ready to just make this rod one piece. It's going to be one continuous piece all the way through here. I'm going to cut this. I got a brand new rod to go in place. It's got a new pin there. I'm real proud of how that pin came out. And so that's going to go in there like that, and it'll really clean it up and it'll get rid of all this weight here. Okay, special thanks to Tim, who encouraged me to do another video. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will keep you posted as progress continues. Thank you.